2, 3, right? Thank you very much for joining us on a Friday. I'm based out of south of Manchester. We had a very sunny weather yesterday, but the sun has completely disappeared. But it's not raining, so it's good. We have here today Luke. I'll introduce him a little bit later. Let me first introduce what this event is about. I'm the founder and CEO of SkilledUp Life. SkilledUp Life is a two-sided marketplace. On one side, we're trying to solve a big problem. How do you get a job if you don't have experience? How do you get experience if you don't have a job? It's really tricky, and this problem has been around for a long time. What we have done is we have created a safe environment where anyone over 18 years old from anywhere in the world could join as long as they have access to internet, and then they can gain the experience they need in order to go and get that dream job. We do not provide paid jobs. We sit between education and the job market, and we are here to provide experience and skills for adults for all ages above 18. And typically, we find three types of individuals joining us. One who is very junior, just 18 or close to it, still in university, or they might not have chosen the university path, and they're hungry to get that early experiences so that they have what recruiters are looking for. Second type is in 30s and 40s. They are looking for a career transition. They might be in oil and gas or banking or maybe working for a large tech company, and they want to sort of break away from that environment and get into somewhere else, maybe in a different type of role, maybe different sector, and we can provide that the experience they are seeking before they dive head in first. And the third type is people who want to give back. They are already very experienced. Perhaps the age is where I'm 55 or older, or you may have retired, but your brain is still working. You want to have some stimulus in your brain in other than just having fun time, and you might come back and want to help a company. So the other side of SkilledUp Life, we are trying to solve another big problem, which is that less than 1% of tech companies get investment. Now, you don't necessarily need investment to build a tech company, as I have proven before, but it helps. But you have a problem that if you want to hire people, you have to pay salaries, and people are very expensive. So if you are in that very early stage and not raise funding, and you are struggling to build a team, then we provide an environment where you can subscribe to us as for little as £30 a month, and you could tap into our volunteer talent pool. We have 44,000 individuals who have signed from 136 countries, and they commit somewhere between 2 to 3 hours per day for 60 volunteer days under a 3 months volunteer agreement. Some will extend mutually agreed, and some will complete a term and come back year after or later on when they want to get more experience. So we have a thriving community, and people are coming from all walks of life, and companies can now build diverse teams with internationally from day one, and that's what we do. So that's a quick introduction. Let's get the team introduced first before we go to Luke. Chidima, would you mind introducing yourself, please? Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Chidimamba. I'm from Nigeria. Currently, I'm the head of the support team, SkilledUp Life team. I joined as SkilledUp Life in the year 2022 as a volunteer. And the attraction for me is that SkilledUp Life, offered to give me a platform, where I could volunteer with tech startups and gain experience that I need to progress in my career. And ever since taking that decision, I have no regret because I've learned a whole lot. And I've seen the company grow in numbers, attracting talent from, globally, because when I joined Skilled Up Life, the volunteers were about less than 16,000. And today we have over 44,000 volunteers from different regions of the world. So it's been an amazing journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chidima. So next is Abidemi. Abidemi is head of sales for a large African brand, and she joined us to get some new experience for herself. And I was quite taken back because I thought she runs sales for a large organization. So Abidemi, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So, like Manoj had introduced me briefly, I am the head of sales for a large African company in Nigeria. We are into beauty, makeup products, and cosmetics, and I'm currently volunteering at Skilled Up Life as the country leader for Nigeria. And I joined Skilled Up Life with so much excitement and expectations. And then since I joined, I can categorically tell you that I have not, I've been experiencing, yes, my expectations. And I had the test to transition into tech. And while doing that, I got to speak with my friend who told me I could volunteer at Skilled Up Life to gain more experience in tech. Now that I graduated, I finished as a data analyst, and I took up that opportunity immediately. Joining Skilled Up Life has been nothing but such a blessing to me, and I'm willing to build the Nigerian team and also to get tech customers, tech startups to use the platform from Nigeria. And I want to use this opportunity to also announce that I'll be taking my first LinkedIn event next week, Wednesday, on the 8th at 12 noon African time. And then I'm also using the opportunity to invite everyone on this call this afternoon to come support me as well. While I call on tech startups, CEOs, and also volunteers from Nigerians, I'm also using this opportunity to invite everyone here also to come and support me on Wednesday next week, on the 8th of May. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abidemi. Before I come to Godwin, let me introduce Luke. Luke is a young tech founder. He recently subscribed to Skilled Up Life to build his tech company. So he's at the very early stage of his journey with us. Luke, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you are building and how you plan to use our volunteers, please.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Manoj. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, so once again, thank you so much, Manoj. Thank you for your kindness and hospitality ever since, or even before I joined Skilled Up Life. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, my name is Luke Winder. I'm currently an investment analyst or slash venture analyst at an angel syndicate slash an advisory firm for tech startups. I am also the reason, why I'm on Skilled Up Life is because I'm also trying to build a tech startup. It was an idea that I had in university. It's called Legal Proof, and it's legal tech software for will writers, estate planners, and private client solicitors to assist them with just making their days as professionals easier. So, simplifying the drafting of the wills so that they have more time, etc. So, I literally was about to just give up the idea before I found Skilled Up Life because I had, my co-founder, I was speaking to him and he's saying that we have, the access to tech teams, etc. But it's just going to cost way too much to hire, 500K plus. And I was like, okay, cool, just got to give up. So when I found Skilled Up Life, I was like, okay, this is, a second hope or a second chance. So I'm very excited to be on the platform. yeah, so literally, I'm just looking to take a long-term vision with Skilled Up Life. Currently recruiting for a HR and EA role, and yeah, just here to learn, here to listen, and slowly build my team. Slowly build teams to kind of get the project off the ground, and yeah, just collaborate and be very open. So very excited to be a part of the community and to use Skilled Up Life, and pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Luke. So let me quickly introduce Godwin. So Godwin joined Skilled Up Life as a volunteer way back when we were little, and at that time, I actually didn't know any Nigerians. And since Godwin joined us as a volunteer, we grew very rapidly. And Godwin didn't require any new skills to gain from us. He just wanted to give back. And after a year of volunteering, typically volunteering is 3 months, but he stayed on with us for more than 12 months. And then we got to a point where we grew as a result, and we were able to take on few more people on paid basis. So Godwin joined our team full time. And he just left us in in March. So, but he has some ideas. So, Godwin, over to you.
Hi, Manoj. It's a pleasure to be back here. I recall always being on these events and hosting some of them. So it's a pleasure to be here. Hi, Chidima, Luke, Abidemi, and indeed everyone in the audience. Like Manoj said, my name is Godwin Mayaki. While I was here, I was head of the Africa team and also head of the marketing team. And within that time, we did quite a lot. It was quite exciting too. But I've also moved on to some personal projects right now. And I think it might be a wonderful story very soon. As I have been a volunteer, I've also been a full-time employee. And maybe as I'm planning it to be, a founder on the Skilled Up Life role very soon too. So that will be a very interesting, case study to present out there. But I will say, given my time at Skilled Up Life and all we've done, it's been a wonderful, wonderful one. We've seen how people, from the onset, I recall mentioning to Manoj that what Skilled Up Life seeks to do and was doing at the time, providing opportunity for people to, improve on their career again, hands-on knowledge and know-how within the tech space was something very, very useful to Africans. And true to it did happen to be so. Now we have a community of over 40,000 plus, which is good. And a chunk of that, a huge one, comes from Africa. That tells a lot. It's a huge story there. So yes, this is something very, very tenable to talents across Africa and also to tech founders, of course, which of course I'm going to be a part very soon. So I'm looking to very soon commence my project on a situational security advisory, real-time security advisory software. And hopefully we will be doing all of that through Skilled Up Life, building a team, and of course, exploring all the vistas possible. So it's been a wonderful one, being a part of the journey and doing everything we've been doing for the past 4 years. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you so much, Godwin. So Godwin's story likely to be started as a volunteer, joined our team full time. Now he's going to become a tech entrepreneur and going to use Skilled Up Life. I mean, Godwin does multiple things. So he's a superstar before he joined us. So he's glad, we'll be thrilled to see how he leverage our talent going forward. Now, we are now open for anyone in the audience. If you raise your hand, I can let you in. Then we can have a discussion. You might want to, when you join, you might want to introduce yourself. Tell us about what you have in mind. So in the audience, we have Oshadi. Oshadi, if you like to join, love to have you. So in our first year, it was a big struggle. When I started Skilled Up Life all by myself in August 2020, it took me 176 days to convince 100 people to sign up. And during that time, just like any other tech startup, there were moments where I didn't believe what I was trying to do. So Oshadi she runs Express Jobs in Sri Lanka, very successful talent-based tech company. So Oshadi and we signed up agreement, and she let me use her platform to help Sri Lankans join Skilled Up Life as volunteers and get experience. In many countries, if you look at a job advert, they're asking for 5 years experience. And if you're a young graduate, there's no way you can demonstrate 5 years experience. So what people can do is they can join us, gain the experience. They could complete one term with one company and start another term. They can get very quickly diverse range of experiences in both discipline and sectors, etc. So, Oshadi, we are always grateful to Oshadi and Express Jobs for helping us in that first year. And that led us to, our first year target was to get 2,000 volunteers, which we achieved. Sadly, subsequent years, we never managed to hit the targets on time. We are at 44,000. We were aiming to have millions by now. But we'll get there. We'll get there. There are certain things that has withheld us. One is that the product we have is something I hacked together in 3 days using WordPress. We have finally made the decision to build it from ground up. So we are now building a little product development team ourselves. Some of our volunteers are joining us. And I believe that once we have version 2, we could do interesting things, including turning Skilled Up Life into a platform. We plan to build an API and allow other people to come in and build extensions to Skilled Up Life. So it will be an interesting period when we get to that point. In the meantime, please... Hi, Abidemi. Can you not hear me? Oh, can you not hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Oh. Hi, can you hear me now? Okay, sorry. LinkedIn has this tendency of kicking me out from time to time. So I'm sorry I was talking a lot, but I can't repeat it now. So let's continue. If you'd like to join us, please raise your hand and I can let you in. So if you ever run an audio event using LinkedIn, make sure from time to time to check your audio settings. It can kick you out, especially if you have other devices, audio devices around you. So we have lots of companies, tech founders in the audience. David is looking to build a company. We have Dr. Simple, Ugu, Sakle. If you feel like you want to talk to us, please raise your hand. Don't be shy, because this is a conversation we are having. And if you don't have a conversation, you can't actually leverage what we have. So Ugu, thank you very much for joining. Please introduce yourself and tell us about the business you are building.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ugu. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria. So we're building a B2B stack, procurement and sourcing software for enterprise customers. So I think a friend referred to me to SkilledUp Life just yesterday, because we're at the point where we're trying to get talents to build up the thesis for this product and proceed to development and all that. So a friend referred me to it, and I was opportunity to also have a word with Manoj about it, basically. But my question would be, now for us that are at the earliest inception of building this product, having in mind that these volunteers their talent is 60 days as 2 months or 3 months, how do you now sustainably maintain your team? Let's say that a volunteer finishes their term and they move on to other opportunities. How do you now maintain your team, having in mind that you're a tech startup and you're trying to manage these talents to scale up, de-risk your products till the time when you have money or get investment to keep growing? So how do you navigate around this these challenges, basically.
Okay, so what we recommend is that when you start, we always suggest you take on an HR volunteer and an executive assistant first. Now, the HR volunteer can, working with you, list your opportunities in the format that works for Skilled Up Life. They can recruit the talent. Two ways. One is that they respond to applicants. Second is that they go and search the 44,000 database, find the best fit talent, and invite them to join you. So, and then obviously once the volunteer has joined, please make sure they sign a volunteer agreement. You should not take on anyone without signing it. You should not shortcut the process. We also suggest during recruitment you add a pre-qualification stage where it could be a questionnaire. You might want to have your own test, and also have a short interview before you take on people. And once the volunteer agreement is signed, it's important that onboarding is swift. Training, if required, is provided. Training, what I meant by training here is that people has to get to know your business quickly, what you're trying to do. They also need to get on board with whatever the software tool you are using so that you can communicate. So getting that done within a week or two is vital before people could lose interest. So you have to prepare yourself, right? And you have to make sure that you know what that person want to, how he or she will help you. Next is that because they're joining for typically 60 volunteer days, which is 3 months, you want to make sure that when, they might extend if they enjoyed it very well and both parties agree. But if they don't, then what you need to have is what we call succession planning. So your HR need to then find a replacement successor to that individual before that individual leaves. So this is never ending. That's why it's important to understand how volunteering with Skilled Up Life works. Now, you can also go and hire these individuals at the end if you wish to, but don't give that as a condition of getting someone to join your team. So they join because they like your idea and want to help you, and in the process, they want to gain experience to improve their own career. So succession plan is important. Getting the HR in the company first is important. So with us, don't rush in because you have to learn the way of how we operate, and you got to plan. You got to plan. Say what talent do you need over the next 6 to 12 months. So work with HR volunteer. We have a lot of HR professionals on Skilled Up Life. So that's our recommended way. Is that clear?
Yes, it's very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now we got Dr. Simple. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Are you guys hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm talking from Japan. I'm originally a Nigerian person. Over some few months ago, I ventured into app development. In fact, I am the developer of Nigeria's messaging app called Soft Talk Messenger, which I believe we want to change the way people message today. Over the years, I have carefully looked at Africa as a whole, and I discovered that a lot of them are still using WhatsApp, Telegram. And I think that it's a time, this is a time for Africans to have their messaging app that they can actually call their own. You see, in Japan here, they have Line Messenger, they have in India, they have their own. In Korea, they have Kakao and all that. I think it's the right time for Africans to have a messaging app, that can compete favorably with their counterparts, like WhatsApp and all that. So that is why I came up with Soft Talk Messenger. So we have about 500,000 download right now, users. And before I ask my questions, I want to quickly say something.
Yeah, please go ahead.
An application like WhatsApp asking you to give a telephone number to registered number. I see that as not secure enough. You can make a call and chat without even without the application asking for a telephone number. Now, for example, when you create a group chat of about 1,000 people, everybody on the group sees your number. So I'm trying to solve that problem. When you download SoftTalk and create a group chat, they don't see your number. In fact, with the number, we don't even ask a number to register the app. So I think that is the way that we, plan to change the way people use messaging app in terms of security for your numbers, as it were. Now, back to my question. I want to use this SkilledUp to get some talents, which I think I never heard about it until, is it a second? I forgot the name, sent me a message about it. Hello?
Festus, in a second.
Festus. Yes, Festus, yes. So one thing that I'm looking at is that what is the security when you're working with a volunteer? I'm very sorry to say that I handle codes, for example. Now, how do you share codes with someone you've never met before? I mean, with a volunteer, how do you get to share a code with such a person? So, look, I want you to work on this and all that. What is the guarantee of that? How do I call it? Of sharing codes with them. And two, are they going to be volunteer forever? I mean, how do you get to pay them and all that? So I want to be very clear about this aspect of hiring a volunteer, as it were. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Two great questions. Before I get into answer them, I think your idea is superb. I would love to see how we can use your messaging app, because I didn't know such a thing existed. I was looking to see how can we access more Africans, and I couldn't find anything. All I found is let's say the Western applications that are used by Nigerians. Now, I don't know much about, I know nothing about Japan, but one of the recent things I started to do is I looked at our community and I looked at China. China is second most populous country, but their ranking in SkilledUp Life was 37th. I felt like I ought to do something. So I'm actually building my Chinese network as a little pet project inside SkilledUp Life. And I'm using a platform called Xiaohongshu, which is, it's all about China. It's all about Chinese. And I was thinking, shouldn't there be something like that for Africa? So maybe Soft Talk is the way forward. Now, to answer your questions, the first question is about the code sharing. Now, SkilledUp Life is designed in a way that we recognize what is needed to build a tech company successfully. So product is obviously important, but product is not the only thing. You got to build marketing, you got to have sales, support, HR, and we have talent to help with all those different areas. Now, coming back to about the code base, we suggest that everyone signs a volunteer agreement. Now, volunteer agreements are different from employment agreements or contracts because there's no money exchange hands. So the volunteer agreement gives you some level of protection for intellectual property, confidentiality, etc. But it's not going to stop someone leaking your code or misusing your code. So if you're going to get into the stage of code sharing, I would suggest that you control what somebody can access. You never give access to the total system, so that even in the worst case that someone actually take the code and does something illegally, the damage is minimized. So that's the only way you can protect. Now, in terms of the second question, when you have to subscribe to SkilledUp Life. So SkilledUp Life for tech companies is not free. What you're doing is you're paying a subscription to access the service, but you are not allowed to pay anyone any of our talent. When you subscribed, you could have unlimited talent. So there's no, we don't charge by person or anything. We are not charging for people, we are charging for operating the system. So the talent is coming on voluntary basis. They join typically for 3 months. What's important here is the number of volunteer days. It's 60 volunteer days. So if they volunteer every day, then the 60 days is within 3 months. If they sort of stagger, then it might take longer to complete a volunteer term. Now, after the volunteer term ended, you have the freedom, both parties has the freedom to extend it to another volunteer term, or that if you are in a position where you have grown and you can afford to pay, then you might decide to have a commercial agreement with that person. By that time, you are outside SkilledUp Life because we are not here to provide jobs. We are here to provide experience and skills. So there's a boundary between what we provide and what we don't provide. But so you are free to go into that. But what we request you to do is that you don't get people on board promising them that there will be a job at the end. We hope there could be, but we should not make that, nobody should make that promise, because I don't want people to sign up to SkilledUp Life thinking they get a job at the end. They're signing up to SkilledUp Life to improve their career prospects. So we are very clear about who we are and what we do. Is that clear?
It's very, very clear, and I want to support my discussion before. I think you said you're just hearing for the first time. Yes, I want you to try it out. You can actually use SoftTalk without sharing your contact, without sharing your phone numbers. You can call, you can do video call, you can do anything without sharing your phone number. That's what I am, passionate about.
So that itself is a massive differentiator compared to Telegram and all the other apps that we use every day.
Of course,
yes.
You find out the way people hack into WhatsApp groups nowadays is because they know your number, because they're able to access your number. That is why they hack into it, because your number is visible.
Yes.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do, yes.
Yeah, but now when you create a group on SoftTalk, no number to see. There's no number. Nobody hacked you. And they can't even call you to say, well, this is what I want you to do in an attempt to hack your phone.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, of course, yes.
I want to break that barrier. You can call, you can sign up, you can make a video call without sharing your phone numbers.
So how does one access SoftTalk then?
You download SoftTalk, for example, and then it asks you to register.
Okay.
Now, when you are registered, you don't need to register, you don't need a phone number. You just need an email. Once you register and you are in already. Now, for you to chat with somebody, you have to know the person's username, not the phone number.
Okay.
You understand what I said? For example,
yes.
my username of SoftTalk right now is at simple. It's at Simzebo. When you go, you will see users, a lot of users. In fact, if you want to search for your friend, you can search for his name. Now, for you to know that is the exact person that you got, because three people may answer one name, you have to search by username, and you will get it. And you start calling, messaging, and what have you.
Okay, so there was another gentleman from Nigeria who was trying to build a mobile app for communication. I think Dr. Ope, or I can't remember his name. So I actually downloaded it and played with it, but there weren't anybody in it. So
But right now, if you download SoftTalk, I think we are going to about 500,000 users now. When you go in, you're going to see a whole lot of community.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay, so is it free or do you have to pay?
Absolutely free. As a matter of fact, Nigerians can buy data and airtime for their mobile phone. All the foreign networks in Nigeria are covered. And the fact is that when you buy data direct from a provider, it's very expensive. Now we bought in wholesale and discount it for all users of SoftTalk.
This is amazing. I mean, thank you so much for coming on board. I mean, first of all, I will download after this call. Second is that if you decide to join us, and it would be a great pleasure to help you build your company.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So we have 20. Festus, Abidemi, I don't know whether you have any things you want to ask for.
I do have something to say. Thank you, Dr. Simple, for being on this call this afternoon. I've been hoping to meet you soon, and I'm glad to have you here. You have an amazing product. I can see it on Play Store now. SoftTalk Messenger, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
I can see it on Play Store, and I'm downloading it already. Festus and I had this conversation, and we talked to have a meeting with you to discuss this and see how we could also, make use of this product after you have come on board with SkilledUp Live. So it's something that we'll be willing to use as well. And then considering that as we're building the Nigerian part of SkilledUp Live, we were initially, Manoj and I were initially discussing something, having to have a landing, page for mobile messengers, where after volunteers are signed up, wherever they signed up from, they're able to come together in this community and have a chat and all that. So maybe this will be useful in this case. I believe after this meeting, this call, we're going to have to talk more on this, and let's see how we can expedite your onboarding, so that by next week, Wednesday, when we are having the Nigeria version of this audio event, you are also on board to talk about this product to other Nigerians. So other Nigerians and other tech startup CEOs can also hear about it, and they can also use it. Thank you very much, Dr. Sim.
Thank you.
Thank you. So is anyone else in the audience would like to join us? Please raise your hand. We can't force you in. You have to request, and then I'll gladly accept, and we can have a conversation. So we are here to build tech companies. We are also at the same time to help you gain the necessary experience so that you can improve your own career and your livelihoods. So I've been building tech companies for 20 years, and I've mainly self-funding or bootstrapping my companies. So I've come across many people who have struggled over the years, not having the capital to hire people and build their companies. So, one of the reasons that I founded SkilledUp Live is to help people like myself and others. So if you've got questions, please raise your hand. We have some of our customers in the audience. Please don't be shy. One way to look at SkilledUp Live is that it also depends on the stage you are in. If you are at that early stage where you have an idea and you need to validate that, you could join us and build a concept validation team, which would include quite a lot of marketing and research folks. Hi, George. Hi, George. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your company. George, you need to unmute. The mute button is at the bottom right.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon.
George, you are breaking up. We can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, yes, I was saying we're working on building an all-in-one platform where our clients can access many different services all from one unique platform. And the question I have for you guys is, with us, we're looking to build from scratch. Now, how do you guys assist us with that in terms of the technology that we need and how we'll go about it? Because right now I have an idea of the platform and what I need for the platform, but now the technical knowledge of how to build that platform is what I don't have. And since SkilledUp works with volunteers, how will you go about that, building that platform?
Okay, so we have to draw some boundaries because we are here to help you get volunteers. We're not here to, for example, tell you exactly how to build certain things. Even though I have some knowledge, I had to be a bit careful not to cross the boundary. So if you want to build something because it sounds like you are trying to, I think volunteers can help you to some extent, but they are not the total solution. So in your case, probably you need to find someone else that could help you decide on the technical architecture, and select the technologies that might be right for you. Now, putting that trust on a volunteer is a little bit risky. So, because you can look at certain applications. So, for example, if you look at SkilledUp Live itself, I hacked WordPress over 3 days and went live. So that was a simple thing to do. I knew how to use WordPress and I didn't need to think about architecture or anything. I just want to prove to myself that I could do this by myself, which I did. Right? And I was in total control of everything I did. Now, in your case, you're trying to build something a little bit more complex than what I built. So if you don't have that know-how yourself, you got to find someone else who can provide that know-how. And that person has to be somebody of trust, right? Because otherwise people can take you for, you might, it might not turn out to be what you want. So volunteers can come in to help you realize your dream, but they can't make that fundamental decision for you. So I think you still need somebody that know how this the type of app that you are trying to build. They have experience. We have experienced people, but what I'm saying is that you should. There's a very slim line of. I think you still need somebody from outside us. That's what I think.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it being at the beginning of the whole building of the platform.
Yeah.
It definitely needs somebody who's more on a trusted level than just a volunteer. So that I do understand.
Yeah, I mean we do have people who have built mobile apps, a lot of experienced people. We have people who have built tech companies, exited CEOs on SkilledUp Live. They're a little bit hidden, but they are there. But the issue is that I think you wanna like a friend that who and you can put trust on. Because SkilledUp Live is you're going to meet a whole bunch of people. They are all online, all remote. So I think that little bit is a bit tricky. But for example, yeah. So that's what I'm suggesting. But if you decide saying, okay, I'm going to build a no-code app just to try this out, then that's not a problem. We have plenty of people. If you want to get that design, we have Figma specialists. And UI UX people, we have product managers, we have software engineers, front end, back end. But I think just that at this vital stage of helping you to work out what the solution ought to be, I think that's not something for SkilledUp Live.
Okay, no, I understand. Okay,
but you are in accelerator, aren't you? So there might be other people in that accelerator environment where they might have that knowledge. Because SkilledUp Live, everybody's remote, so you never meet anyone face to face. right?
Everything is now remote now, so it makes life easier where you can work with anybody from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I've been remote since 2004, so I don't know any other way. Okay, anyone else want to join us? We got some customers in the audience, some people with lots of access to, Alan, if you like to join us, please do. Janesh, Mamasia, you are a customer. So I think, feel free to join us and have a chat, because if you don't talk, then we can't resolve any issues you might have. Anyone else in, Festus or Godwin or Abidemi, Luke, feel free to talk. If you got more questions.
Hello.
I'm sorry I muted Festus because I think there's noise coming from him. No, Luke, do you have any questions? I know you are here to learn, but...
Okay, I think my Dutch internet has... I think it's gone again. So...
okay, let me just chip in something.
Yes, Festus.
Okay, my name is Festus Yeseke, the regional team lead volunteer for Nigeria. I want to welcome everyone to this event. Of course, we all know that SkilledUp Life is a very good platform, and that tech stage companies need to actually leverage on, to solve the challenges of talent acquisition. We all know that apart from getting access to capital, which is funding, or issues that have to do with regulatory barriers, or infrastructure deficits, we all know that talent acquisition is very key, which is one of the challenges that are being faced by startups, when it comes to tech, and not only tech generally. Then one thing that is very important is SkilledUp Life is that we're able to fill in that gap. And most times when, from my experience, when I relate to founders, of tech startup companies, their concerns has usually been probably the talents that we have, they are inexperienced, or probably freshers who are unemployed, trying to gain experience. That's at times, these are misconceptions. So most time I use myself as a case study that, look, I have, over 20 years experience, and I'm also volunteering, to be able to add value and also gain, some valuable experience, which, because you cannot have it all. So you also learn in the process while you're also adding value. So I think it's an opportunity for funders, to actually sign up and leverage, on this opportunity, because definitely the rewards, they are more. And also is opportunity to welcome Simple as the number. It's good having you. We have already chatted on your. I know I downloaded it some days ago, and we have actually chatted on that soft talk messenger, which is a very good one. So I think a lot has been said. So I welcome everyone to the platform, and we look forward to talking more in future events. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Festus. I hope people can hear me now. I don't know why LinkedIn keep kicking me out. So please, those in the audience, please raise your hand and join us. Doesn't matter whether you are volunteering or whether you're building a tech company or you want to partner with us. We also have partnerships. We have two types of partnerships. One with education providers, and we have quite a few in Africa, and then we have accelerator type partnerships where we can actually help their portfolio companies or their those who join cohorts to understand how to build teams. So we are in our 4th year of operation. We didn't know, we know every year we are learning new things. It took us 13 months to realize that the way to unlock the talent pool is by having an HR volunteer first. We learned a little bit later on that actually having an executive assistant because I never ever had executive assistant before myself. Executive assistants can do a lot of ad hoc things, and they are really useful. And we have a lot of executive assistant type individuals on SkilledUp Live. So that's why we recommend you get those two in first, and then you look at how you use the time to learn how to recruit. You got to also, it's very important that you have processes in place, systems in place, tools in place, right? So you got to look at us as a long-term partner. If you join us, if you subscribe to us as a tech company just for a month and grab a bunch of people, you might actually find that that's not going to work for you in the long run. So join us, learn about us, ask questions, and we can help. And we have a very active support team headed by Chidimma. Now Chidimma got a lot of experience working with us in our team. So use us, ask questions. So I would encourage, we have 9 minutes left. Please raise your hand, join us, at least to say hi, just to introduce yourself. Even if you don't have a question, just come on board and say hi. That would be useful. Okay, so Godwin, do you want to say anything? Because you have been with SkilledUp Life for longer than anyone else I know. So want to share anything, Godwin?
Yes, of course. Just want to respond to Dr. Simple's first question. He talked about sharing the code base, how trustworthy such a system can be, especially through SkilledUp Live, which is a volunteer ecosystem. Well, I would like to say that is also a challenge in companies that have paid employees, and even in cases where you have employee NDAs signed, it's always a challenge within the tech space. Usually what companies will do, and I think that will be great if you really want to explore SkilledUp Live, you could build a team, having built your HR component in. You could have a team of 2 or 3 and only provide piecewise code access. That way, you only as a founder or team lead has everything in view, so everyone knows in part. I think that will be a good one if you would like to do so. I've seen that done in several places.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Godwin. I think that's useful information. Dr. Simple, do you have any more questions regarding SkilledUp Live?
Yes, I'm almost on my way home. It's around, let me check the time now. It's almost 9 p.m. in Japan. And are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I want Godwin to repeat that elaboration again about the sharing code base. I mean, is that done in Git or where?
Well, I'm not the technical one, so I do not know all the details. But I do know that, yes, that is something to explore. However you eventually get to do that, you could share those details piecewise, so at the end of the day, you alone have the full, view of things. Yes, I've seen that done, or that explored in certain places.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So my suggestion is that never ever expose the full code base. Expose a little at a time so that they work on a particular area. So even, I mean, look at the worst case scenario. So you got to do a risk assessment and look at where the risk is. And I've seen some tech founders, they are quite inexperienced, who have given the code base very early in the process and not even signing a volunteer agreement. So please don't do that. Follow what we suggest. And I think you can still get a lot of value from SkilledUp Live. But secondly, we are not just about software engineers. We have all the other disciplines. So even if you decide that, sharing code is risky, then you can still use us. if you got 500,000 people using it, you want to get to million, and you could easily put together a marketing team to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's many other ways to use us. And if you, again, another thought process is that if you have an API built, perhaps that API could be used by developers from SkilledUp Live to build other things, so they never really have access to your core code, right? So I don't know how you build yours, because these days, if you got an API built, then you can ring fence a lot.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. So we got a few minutes left. We got Grace. Grace, do you want to go ahead and talk about what you have in mind, please? Grace? Okay. Grace, you need to unmute. The mute button is at the bottom right. In the meantime, we have Anthony. Anthony, would you like to go ahead, please?
Oh, yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Hensechen. I'm sure some of us have heard the name Hensechen before. I'm actually Festus' brother.
Okay.
He shared this link with me, and I feel this is an opportunity for me to volunteer. Currently, I'm based in Sweden, and I'm trying to, along with some of my friends that we actually went to the university together, we're trying to start up something in the tech industry. It's still at the foundation stage, so I won't at the moment. I think we'll have to do that on our own before we can come back to Skilled Life and see what we can actually do together. But at the moment, I think I'm up for being a volunteer and see where this will lead. Thank you.
Okay, so that's another great way to use SkilledUp Life. One is that you want to build a tech startup, but let's assume you know nothing about it. Now, building a tech company is not just building a product. You have to take it to market. So marketing allows people to know that you exist. Second, then if obviously, if it's a product that you want to use to generate revenue, you got to do sales. So Festus has joined us to help with sales. You got to support the customers. You need to have support. You got to operate the business. So there's a whole bunch of different things you have to do. So if you don't know some of these things, then you could join SkilledUp Life as a volunteer and gain experience in the areas you don't know much about, right? So that's another way for, let's say, budding entrepreneurs. They can get a lot out of SkilledUp Life. And they also get experience of doing something inside an early stage tech company, so that when they go back and try to build their own company, you could avoid some of those costly mistakes. Now, I've been building tech companies for 20 years. I have a lot of failures. And I have some ideas about how to avoid failures, but I still make failure. I still fail, but I make less failures as I move forward. So you could join a company, and you could quickly understand, because you are joining them with a different mindset. You want to gain experience in certain areas, but you are also thinking about, at the same time, how do I build my own company, and how do I do this in this way, right? So I think that would be a great thing to do, Anthony. So thank you very much for joining us. We got very little time left. Sakhele, I'm trying to allow you to speak, but for some reason it's not letting you in. Grace, please unmute and say what you have, please. We got 1 minute left. Grace, mute button is at the bottom. Okay, hi, Sakhele, please go ahead. Please go ahead. So I can hear some noise, but I can't hear your voice. Only noise coming through. So Sakhele is just joined us as a new customer. He's building a product called Waste Dump, and he's sort of so some companies join us, they listen to us and follow our suggestions, and some join us, don't even talk to us. So Sakale is one of those, and Luke is as well listening to us. So they've started with the taking on a HR volunteer and executive assistant. I can't hear you, I'm afraid. So we have to end the session. I'm sorry. We try to start on time and finish on time. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful weekend. And we'll be back on next Friday. However, we have sessions running during the week. Chidima, do you want to quickly promote your event? Chidima?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I host a LinkedIn event on Mondays by 11 a.m. GMT. So feel free to join us on Monday. You can invite your friends, associates that may have a need for SkilledUp Life services. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye.
Thank you. Abhidemi, do you want to quickly promote your event?
Okay, yes. I'm inviting everyone to attend our event on Wednesday next week, 8th of May at 12 noon. We are going to be talking about building tech talent pipeline strategies for tech startups. So it will be my pleasure to have the CEOs here on board, the founders here on board, and other guests. It will be my pleasure to have you on board next week, Wednesday. The link will be shared, and you can see the link on Manoj's profile, and also my profile, and then the SkilledUp Life profile as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please follow our company page, SkilledUp Life, and all our events are listed there, except this event, which is actually listed against my own profile. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.
I was talking about Vic Benga-Folapi, coincidentally has a function somewhere, so hopefully he will join us during the course of our conversation. I think let me give the honors to Manoj, to start by introducing himself, why I take it up from there. So thank you, audience.
Thank you, Festus. My name is Manoj Ranavira. I'm the founder and CEO of SkilledUp Life. Right, we have Abhidemi back. Abhidemi, good.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, please. Thank you. I don't know why this is happening. Okay. Hi, Victor Benga-Folabi. Second speaker is here in the audience. Victor, please could you raise your hand so I can let you in?
I think we've lost Abhidemi. I think having issues.
So,
network.
okay, so
she's the only one that can allow Victor.
Right.
While we wait for her, Manoj, I think you can introduce yourself.
Okay, so how much of an introduction do you need? She's back.
Okay, the host is there. Okay, the host is there. She's back.
Okay.
Abhidemi, you are muted.
Abhidemi, I think.
Please, Afolabi, can you please raise your hand so we can let you in?
I think he has raised his hand, hasn't he?
Yes, he has to do that again. Okay, so I'll just kickstart. Welcome, everybody. Okay, he has raised his hand. Thank you, Afolabi, for making it to this event today. So I want to welcome everybody to this LinkedIn Audio Live event, where we will be sharing, insights to potential strategies for tech startups. And I want to congratulate everyone in the audience for making it to this event today. Trust me, you'll be going on with great insights to how to, for potential growth strategies for tech startups, and also opportunities for you to gain experience, in-hand experience from SkilledUp Life. So bringing this audio show to you is SkilledUp Life Nigeria, and SkilledUp Life Nigeria is an arm of the SkilledUp Life itself, located in UK, United States. And SkilledUp Life is an organization that empowers tech startups to reach their full potential by connecting them with skilled and experienced volunteers. And these volunteers share their expertise without any salary expectations, helping the tech startups to optimize growth and achieve success. So over the past, over 4 years, SkilledUp Life has been in this business. And then SkilledUp Life, has been doing so greatly to, to grow, and also to ensure that many Nigerians out there that are looking to, many young individuals out there that are looking to transition into tech, or also, improving their career prospects, get opportunities like this to volunteer at SkilledUp Life to gain experience. And speaking on this show is the host and the moderator, in person of Abidemi Olaito Ambulu. I am the country leader for Nigeria at SkilledUp Life. And then joining me on this show are three fantastic panelists. And the first person, I will be doing the introduction. The first person on our panelist list is Manoj Ranawira. Manoj is fondly called the man that built Manchester's tech startup ecosystem. Maybe he's going to talk more on that later. And Manoj is the founder and CEO of SkilledUp Life. So whether you hear SkilledUp Life Indonesia, SkilledUp Life Nigeria, SkilledUp Life whatever country, Manoj is the founder and CEO of SkilledUp Life, headquartered in Manchester, United States. And secondly, we have a great tech enthusiast, the founder and CEO of Eco Innovation. He is the brain behind Exxon Holdings and GDM Group. This is Mr. Gbenga Afolabi. Mr. Victor Gbenga Afolabi is here in the audience as well. And thirdly, we have a well-experienced B2B sales expert. He is the regional lead at SkilledUp Life Nigeria, the man who turns around sales situations in any organization. Please join me to welcome Festus Hieseke, and to my wonderful people in the audience, Chidima Ugu, Olurotimi, Anthony, I can't pronounce this, Aobakwe, and Sisanda. I welcome you to this event today, and I want you to please engage this event by, tapping on the reaction box, the reaction button below your phone or your device. You raise your hand if you have anything to ask a question. Please raise your hand. We want you to engage our speakers. They are here to share their insight to how to strategies for tech startups potential. So please make welcome Manoj Ranawira. I'm going to ask the first question, Manoj, and then when it's time for you to talk, you can introduce yourself more so I can hear from you also. So the first question I have for you is that what are the essential skills and mindsets required for tech startup growth, and how can entrepreneurs develop them? This question goes to Manoj. Let me repeat myself. What are the essential skills and mindsets required for tech startup growth, and how can entrepreneurs develop them? Manoj, you have the floor. Kindly introduce yourself again. Thank you, Manoj.
Hi, yes. So my name is Manoj Ranawira. I'm the founder and CEO of SkilledUp Life. By the way, are you picking up a lot of noise from my end?
No.
Okay. If there's too noisy, let me know. I can move somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were asking essential skills for a tech entrepreneur. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please. Essential skills and mindset required for startup growth, and how can entrepreneurs develop them? Yeah.
Okay. So my area is really around building tech companies. I have been doing this for 20 years now. I think to build a tech company now, or at least to start, it's a lot easier than 10, 15 years ago. There is a lot of knowledge out there. and the technologies have advanced, so that means you can easily build something. However, to grow a company, you need to be a generalist in one respect or another, because you might come from a technology background and you might be very good at building a product, but product is just one part of a business. So you got to turn a product into a business. So you need to have some understanding about how to build a product, how to market, how to sell, how to operate, how to recruit people, and how to keep organization in operation. And you got to make sure that there's money in the bank to pay for whatever the expenses and salaries you got to pay every month. So you need to acquire these skills, and typically you acquire them over time because you work somewhere before. But if you are 20 something, just going to university or not even going to university, and you want to start a business, then you have to very quickly learn these areas. So one of the things that we could do through SkilledUp Life is that if you have intention of setting up a business or tech business or any business in the future, and if you have skills lacking in some of these areas, then you can actually volunteer and gain those skills before you go and set up a business. So that's another way we can help. I don't know whether I answered your question. I think if you're a specialist, sometimes it's a bit harder to build a business unless you have otherwise you have to bring people into the business very quickly who has skills in those areas that you don't necessarily have.
Okay, thank you, Manoj. So to recap, you said you have to be a generalist. I like that word, generalist, and generalist, you have to know everything around the business. You shouldn't know one part and you don't know the other part. And you say to help as SkilledUp Life is to help build the team that would help push the business forward. However, I want to throw this question to Afolabi. So Manoj just talked about skills and mindset required for startup growth, and how entrepreneurs can develop them. And then we have pitfalls. Entrepreneurs can face pitfalls, challenges at any time. How do you think, or what are the strategies do you think entrepreneurs can take to avoid these challenges or to avoid the pitfalls? Afolabi, the floor is open to you. Kindly introduce yourself again, and thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me on this call. So again, what we do in the innovation is helping people accelerate ideas. When people come with their ideas, we help them to incubate it from an MVP. And for people already have MVPs and want to accelerate the growth, accelerate the traction of their businesses, include their product market commercialization, include scale up that's where we do. So when you ask the questions, how do you avoid challenges? Then it becomes almost impossible to avoid challenges in the lifetime of a startup.
Hi, Afolabi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you be a bit audible?
Okay, can you hear me? I'm using my headset, so I don't know where I get the challenges. Just see. Is it more?
Yeah, it's okay. Apologies. Afolabi has a speaking event, a public speaking event today. So he has really tried making our time to be here at this event as well. So you might just need to manage any sound that comes from his background.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Okay, yes, we can hear you now.
So like I said, challenges are given with startups. That's what startups are meant to do, because what again defines startups is the fact that they have two things working against them. Startups are nascent ventures or young ventures just starting up, which they have to be profile some level of challenges upon it. The second part about startups is the fact that naturally also, because they're new, they're young, they're nascent ventures, they definitely have resource constraints. when we talk about resource constraints, we're talking about financial resource constraints, human resource constraints. Can you hear me?
It's very difficult to understand your. I don't know whether audio can be improved.
Okay. Do you hear me now? I've lost it. Okay, give me a minute. Let me take a breath.
Yes, I think you should take off the headset.
Yeah, it's challenging because I'm having another presentation. Okay, do you hear me now?
Oh, yes, very clear.
Yes, it's clear now. Thank you.
Good. So I said, when you talk about challenges, how do you avoid challenges and pitfalls? Again, having run an incubator and an accelerator here in an emerging market, like you have in Lagos, it becomes almost impossible to avoid challenges as a startup. Because again, when we talk about startups, what do we mean by them? They are nascent ventures, new ventures, young ventures. And by the nature of their newness, the liability of their newness, there are some inherent challenges they will deal with. They will be dealing with, of course, being new. They need to be able to grow their business, achieve market fit. But much more than that, they also be dealing with resource constraints, because for new ventures, you're dealing with financial resource constraints. You're talking about talent resource constraints. You're talking about maybe institutional resource constraints. So you will find out that when you put all these together, these are the challenges that startups kind of face. And so what startups get to do basically is that you get to learn how to mitigate or how to build and grow your ventures in spite of these challenges and headwinds. And that's why they are called startups. So when you're able to do that, you're able to see how you mitigate and leverage all the other support structures, which can be incubators, accelerators, like SkilledUp and all that. When you're able to work with those organizations, the chances of survival of startups are a lot higher. But when we say, what do you do to avoid, the chances are high that almost all startups will engage a amount of challenges until they're able to stabilize and begin to a large extent, grow and become scale-ups until they finally get unicorns. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please. Perfect. Afolabi, thank you so much for that response. I like the fact that you mentioned that financial resource constraints, financial constraints is one of the challenges that they face. And then mentioning that is why we have, they can leverage other support structures like SkilledUp Live. And this takes me to another question for Manoj. How can SkilledUp Live support startups to drive this successful growth? Just like Afolabi has mentioned, So what are the things that SkilledUp Live has put together to support startups like this to drive success for growth?
Okay, so I've been in this building tech companies for 20 years, and if you look at just I'll be 56 this year, but if you just look at my 20 years. When I first started, obviously the landscape was different from today, but I didn't actually know how to build a tech company. I didn't even know other people who were building tech companies. Today, there's a large number of tech companies in almost every city, in every country, so you are not alone anymore. Nevertheless, if it's your first time, you need to acquire the knowledge of how to go about building a company, let alone setting it up. So that's not something you could get overnight, right? And you tech founders normally acquire this by, in some case, trying, failing, and finding out how to solve a particular problem, and which we face problems every day. So that knowledge is something you need to find somewhere, and at SkilledUp Life we cannot actually provide that knowledge, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to provide talent, volunteer talent, to help you realize your vision. And that vision might be at a point where it's still an idea, so you could assemble a concept validation team, for example, but you need to know what you're doing. So that is where some of the problems that we face with tech founders who subscribe to SkilledUp Life. If you don't have any idea, then we can't provide that know-how. We can provide the know-how of how to build teams, but we can't provide the know-how of how to build a technology business. And that's where accelerators are very useful, because the accelerators business is that they're actually, I look at them, they provide multiple values, but I see them as almost like a school where they teach how to become a tech entrepreneur, how to build a business.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi, could you please mute your mic?
Yeah. So I hope that I don't know whether I fully covered your question.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Manoj. You did cover the question. But there are other areas that I wanted to hear from you. So most of the events that you hold, you talk about tech startups, setting up the marketing team for HR team, then executive assistant for the CEO, and then marketing team. Could you please speak more on this?
Yes. So let's look at a journey of a tech startup. You start with an idea, and once you have that idea, typically what most people do is talk to a few friends you have, few colleagues. What do you think about this? I got this idea. And you start talking to people, and they respond back, and you start to validate that idea. But that's not enough. So now you need to actually think about who has this problem that you're trying to solve. So that's where I think SkilledUp Life can help in terms of assembling a concept validation team, which include maybe researchers, market analysts, and various people who can actually identify the problem in depth, understand what type of solutions out there, understand who provide those solutions, and help the founder to create a mechanism in terms of differentiating from existing solutions, etc. So once you validate the concept, you can then start looking at building your product team. You have to, building a product involve, first of all, designing what you're going to build. You got to write some sort of a functional specification. You got to assemble a team with software engineers, front end, back end designers, and you got to build a product of some nature that's going to solve a particular problem. And normal words used in the industry are minimum viable product. I tend to call it version 1. Whatever it is, you got to produce something that others can use. So once you got a product, you got to do two things almost immediately. One, you got to tell the world that you exist. So you do that through marketing. You can assemble a team for marketing. Now, next is that you got to start finding people. Let's call them users at this point, who want to actually try your product that you build, and hopefully get value from it, and then going to become customers. So those are the very early stages for starting up. Then you got to operate this business. You got to provide support. Once you got customers, they will ask all sort of questions. You got to provide support. You got to build your team. You need to that's where HR comes in. So you start from those stages are almost typical for any business, but it depends on to what extent or what depth you go into. Sometimes, that very first stage I spoke about, concept validation, sometimes I see tech entrepreneurs trying to validate an idea and taking years. And I don't think it should take that long. It should be, you got to decide, how much time I'm going to spend on making sure this idea has legs, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, whatever that time period, and whether you feel like you've done a very good job or not, you might want to move to the next stage. So it's very quickly going through those stages in a timely manner. And sometimes people take very, very long time to get the product out to market because they are looking for perfection. You want to actually get something out to market, get that in front of people who want to try it out, give you feedback so you can refine and build a product people want. So all those stages, you could actually come to SkilledUp Life and start assembling teams.
Great. Thank you, Manoj. for that explicit insight into how SkilledUp Life support startups to drive success for growth. Please, I have the privilege to welcome Mr. Godson. Godson is the founder and CEO of Excite Panacea. I'm glad that he's able to join this event today. So, back to Afolabi now. Hi, everyone in the audience. Please, you could end conversation by reacting with, if you have a question, you could raise your hand and also react to everything that has been said. So my second question to Afolabi, before we go to our speaker, Afolabi, as the founder and CEO of Eco Innovation Center, also the CEO of Axon Holdings, I just wanted to ask, what initiative is Axon Holdings, the Eco Innovation Center, taking to also support Nigeria?
Okay,
And how can they partnership with SkilledUp Life?
Yeah, so if I understand your question is, how is the co-innovation bringing value to the ecosystem? Is that what you asked?
Exactly. Yes, it's the same thing. And also, how can they build partnership with SkilledUp Life?
Okay, so the question again, basically for me is, remember I said as an innovation center, we're looking first as incubation. In actual fact, when we said 5 years ago, we said first as an accelerator. We wanted to see companies that had MVP because we had some funds and we wanted to use them to help them scale up and get commercialization. And then we began to struggle because we couldn't find enough founders that were building products that were needed. Many people were building products for Silicon Valley because, again, where the money goes is where they were building for. And so we decided to begin to look inwards to see people who wanted to build for Africa and build for things that were solving, making life better in here. But we couldn't get a lot to accelerate. And then we moved scale backward in to now start looking at incubators. And then we had the hackathon. So what we do is that we use hackathons. We're having another hackathon, looking at different focus areas. On the 5th, we're looking at marketing and media hackathon. And from those hackathons, we're able to now get people with promising ideas. And then we're able to take them through a 3 months incubation period. And then we're able to get them to achieve a product market fit using our mentors and our facilitators. Then they can come in, get the seed fund because we only fund the seed and pre-seed, maximum of $100,000, and then get them to the seed fund where they can now begin to try out their products and, of course, be able to launch and get to market. That basically is where we ended in there. So when you ask how are we able to partner, we have the opinion that the ecosystem is quite large, and one of the biggest resource constraints we see, in my opinion, is not funding. Funding is not the issue, it's access to talent that we consider the biggest resource constraint working here, because quite a number of people are not skilled, quite a number of people don't have the competence. Some people do not even understand what the consumers they are building for that they want to build for require. So this hand-holding for founders and having access to the right talent, we think are the major challenges that the startup ecosystem in Nigeria is suffering from, and it's not about funding. Again, we already parried 4 unicorns, but despite that, we're not still with all the unicorns that we have, the largest amount of unicorns in one location in Africa, and we're not seeing the significant growth of the ecosystem, job creation, and the impact of so many of the startups. So what we've seen again is the quality of the startups in the ecosystem, and that's why I think SkilledUp Life has significant work that they need to do. Skill set, talent development, and mentorship are the biggest headwinds that the startup ecosystem is experiencing. And I think with SkilledUp Life, there is huge opportunity for you to be able to create a dent and be able to have your impact being felt. Again, speaking to your name is about scaling up and getting the right talents to be able to solve the right things, especially for startups. I think there's a huge opportunity in there, and conversations can be had about how are we able to help the talents, help the startups to be able to write the hard skill, the right competence to take their products to market and scale their ventures. I hope I spoke directly to your ask.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Abidemi, you are mute. Abidemi, you are muted. You need to okay.
Abidemi, did I answer your question?
Abidemi. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's an emerging market headwinds, and these are challenges that is also faced by startups. I mean, one of the biggest issues we see with startups in here is many of our costs are many of the input costs are inflation dependent. So we look at the cost of the infrastructure, whether AWS or Azure and all that. Many of them currently can't even pay for that good network or good infrastructure to build their places. So yes, we think that there are quite a number of headwinds, and we think with SkilledUp, like many of these things can be solved.
Abidemi, are you able to rejoin?
Yes, thank you, Afalabi. Okay, so I like the fact that you mentioned that SkilledUp Life can solve the problem of getting top talent. And then I would like to reiterate that, like I mentioned earlier, because of some people that were not in, SkilledUp Life is an organization that empowers tech startups to reach their full potential by connecting them with skilled and experienced volunteers. And these volunteers share their expertise without any salary expectations, thereby helping these tech startups to optimize growth and achieve success. And how does this happen? So it's just for an individual to identify a career prospect to say, oh, okay, I think I want to get more experience in this particular area. And they, sign up under the SkilledUp Life, on the SkilledUp Life platform. And they have an interest, show their interest, and the support team of SkilledUp Life would reach out to them to also engage them and get them in. So I would like to ask again, Manoj, it has been said that Eco Innovation Center, it mentioned that funding is not a problem. So that they're ready to they fund new tech startups, but for them to even get these tech startups building the product that they want is not even, they're not able to get them. So eventually, when they get these tech startups to fund, they face the challenge of getting top talents to work for them, experienced talents to work for them. And I'm so happy for the products that SkilledUp Life has built, gathering top talent, training them to get experience through, to get hands-on experience, and also connecting them with tech startups to help them grow their business for optimization. So how else do you think that we can partner with Eco Innovation to promote values, to give values to these tech startups?
Okay, so in the meantime, we lost Victor, but I can't respond to the question you asked. So I think building a tech company is very, very tricky. There's so many things need to come together, and they need to come in the right order and right depth to make it a success. I mean, we ourselves is I don't wanna draw a picture of us knowing everything that need to be done. We have significant challenges at SkilledUp Life as well. So just listening to what Victor was saying, I think what he was saying is that they tried a number of models at their innovation center, and what seemed to be working is the hackathons they start. So I don't know whether everyone in the audience know what a hackathon is. Hackathon is typically happen over a short period of time, sometimes over 24 hours, sometimes over 48 hours, typically during a weekend, where a bunch of people come together. They sometimes they come as teams, sometimes they just meet at the event and they form teams, and they discuss and agree a problem that they want to solve, and they hack away during that period. And at the end, typically they have a presentation, and there tends to be judges, etc., to rank the best presentation, and there can be awards, etc. So this is a good way to get some quick output. Sometimes people are able to code and create something very, very simple proposition that might look like might have the the first look and feel of a potential product. So I think what I heard is that they are now backing these initiatives, whatever comes out of these hackathons. And then the problem seemed to be about what do you do after that, because it's a little bit more than an idea at that stage, but that idea itself hasn't been validated. They just went through the steps very quickly. They turned the idea into some sort of a basic product of some, maybe hopefully people can use. So then how do you go and turn that into a successful product-based company? It is very hard, but it's doable. So I think if we are going to help, then we got to perhaps come in a little bit later stage, or they could, another way to do this is that they could perhaps offer SkilledUp Life as part of their solution in the hackathons. But we also have some challenges because we have designed our volunteering scheme to be to run in a specific manner. We ask people to volunteer for 2 to 3 hours a day for 60 volunteer days over a 3-month period under a volunteer agreement. And we ask people not to engage with a tech company unless that volunteer agreement is signed, which makes it very clear the obligation between the two parties are. So there are certain formalities that we cannot avoid. They are needed to make sure that there is no exploitation take place. And we've done this in a way that volunteering is an add-on to people's daily life. It's not a replacement. It gives a chance for anyone to improve their career prospects. So these are some of the constraints that might not allow individuals from SkilledUp Life to immediately engage with a project coming out of a hackathon. But as the hackathon, the result of a hackathon start progressing and they formalize that team, then actually we can start looking at saying, okay, what is the best time for us to engage with these teams? So I think Abhida may require a lot more dialogue to understand, but it is an interesting model because the whole idea behind SkilledUp Life is to allow anyone to actually build a tech company. If they are enthusiastic, if they are committed, if they have some know-how, then that is the entry criteria really to start leveraging our 44,000 talent pool. So unfortunately, I can't finish the conversation without Victor being part of the conversation.
Yes, please. That's okay. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you. That was quite explanatory. Godson, this founder and CEO of Excite Panacea, please, you could raise your hand if you want to get on the call. Because I know that you starting up your business, you must have faced some challenges before. And then right now, considering the economic situation of the country, it's possible that your business might be facing one challenge or the other. We would like to hear from you how you're able to scale through, and then how you think that SkilledUp Life can support your business in terms of connecting you with volunteers that are top volunteers from SkilledUp Life. Okay, thank you, Godson. So before Godson speaks, I just want to, I would allow our sales experts to talk now. Yeah, because for every business that is being established, either it is product or whatever, whatever we do to make people buy into the business, it's like a sales process, right? So I want you to, I just established a new business and I want you to know about it. I want you to buy into the idea of the business. I want you to know what we do in the business. The process, I still call the process sales process. So we lost Godson. Maybe he will join back soon. So I want to ask our sales experts, our third speaker, Festus Nyeseke, what sales strategies do you find most effective for startups, and how can they build a strong sales team? Festus, you can introduce yourself again as you answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Abidemi. My name is Festus Yeseke. I'm the regional team lead volunteer for SkilledUp Life. I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Before I actually answer your question, I just want to chip in a little to, in terms of partnership, possible partnership with Eco Innovation Center. You know, one thing, Eco Innovation Center, they also have Eco Innovation Institute. So basically, what they do, they actually provide in-demand technology skills to Africa youths. So they are helping to bridge the skill gap by equipping individuals with high quality training. So of course, once these individuals they get that training, they need somewhere where they can actually demonstrate the skills. You know, so that is where a SkilledUp Life come in. You know, so for these youths, after gaining the experience, it would be ideal, you know, with a possible partnership, they can easily sign up with SkilledUp Life, you know, and then demonstrate their skills. And also by doing that, they are also gaining experience and skills that will help them in their career prospects. You know, because we all know that most times recruiters, you know, when they want to hire individuals, they tend to look for the experience. So, and how can they get that experience if you know they don't actually you know go out there, you know, to get job. So, but for SkilledUp Life, they have opportunity, you know, to actually get that knowledge, that skills and experience to build their resume, which can actually help them to land their first job. So I think it's a conversation, you know, we may have, you know, with Eco Innovation Center, whereby those that pass out from there can easily, you know, sign up with SkilledUp Life and get some valuable experience that will help them, you know, to land that job they are looking for. So thank you. Let me go straight to the question you asked, Abidemi. You know, so for me, talking about sales strategies, you know, for startups, you know, basically, if for startups, I want to believe before coming up with a product or even conceptualizing that you want to start building a product, then of course you need to have identified your target audience, so which is very key for me. So for me, I would say first is you need to identify your target audience. You know, so basically, once you identify your target audience, that is the first thing. You know, because there you can have a clear strategy for how you want to generate your leads. You know, and also make a sales. Then, secondly, for me, is setting clear goals and objectives. You know, so there need to be a clear-cut goals and objectives. You know, what you tend to achieve. You know, it's not just about, okay, maybe I want to say my budget for this, you know, this financial year is this, but you need to be in numbers. So there have to be a clear-cut, you know, goals and objectives. Then the other one I would say, you need to analyze your strategies, as your competitor strategies, which is very key for me. You know, because you also need to look at what your competitors are doing. You know, that will help you. You know, it's not just about mimicking what they are doing. You know, it's not mimicking what the competitor is doing, but it will help you to identify what you are doing well, you know, their weaknesses, and then how you need to improve on these points, you know, so that you can have a good, effective sales strategy. So basically, for me, it's like doing a SWOT analysis. You know, so once you are able to do that, you know, definitely it will help you, you know, to be able to build your. Then, of course, you utilize the right tools to measure results, and then not taking away hiring the right sales team, which is very key. And that is where, for me, SkilledUp Life also come in, you know, because you need to hire the right sales people for you to be able to build your team. And we all know that most times for startups, they have this challenge, you know, that has to do with funds, you know, so which at times is a very big problem for startups when they want to hire talents. So, but for me, I would say you don't need to worry anymore, you know. That's why, thanks to SkilledUp Life, that has also given opportunity, you know, for startups to be able to assess volunteers, that can be a tool or an asset for them to be able to achieve their sales objectives. For me, I have over 20 years sales experience, and I'm currently volunteering for SkilledUp Life, which is a good one. So in SkilledUp Life, we have people that are experienced, not only freshers trying to seek for job, but we have quite skilled and talented people. So for me, you also need part of the sales strategy will also be to hire the right team, and that is where you need a SkilledUp Life, because you don't need to break the bank, because you want to hire a talent, So as I always say, you can always start small, especially for tech startup or even any business that is just starting. Access to funds, we all know that is one of the challenges, that tech startups do have, and apart from talent acquisition and partnerships. So for me, I think those are the ways. And then lastly is just for you to monitor the progress. And then, of course, you make a necessary adjustment along the way. Manoj gave us an instant when he started, building, his company. There has been issues there and there, but, trying to address those issues and then make the necessary adjustment. And then thank God today, for where we are in SkilledUp Life. So I think that's all for me. I don't know if I've been able to address the question, Abidemi. Thank you. Abidemi, I think she's not here. Lost. Okay, so before she comes, Godson, you are here. Thanks for honoring the invite. So please, Abidemi is around now. Can you take over? Abidemi, I'm inside here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Festus. Thank you for that. So I was able to pick out your strategies. You said identifying your target audience. It's very important. Before you build a product, before you establish any business, you have to, know your product, what you're trying to build, the language that you're trying to speak. So you have to identify your target audience. Then it's important to set clear goals and objectives. Also important to analyze your competitor strategies and then several other strategies. Thank you, Festus, for that. And you also mentioned that, it is important to have a very strong sales team who would help you to talk about the product, who would help you to, sell the product to people through the marketing support as well. Thank you very much, Festus. And we are happy to announce to everyone that SkilledUp Life has got that covered for tech startups that are seeking to build product team, to build marketing team, to build HR team, to build research team, whatever team. SkilledUp Life has got it covered. So you don't have to worry about finances. How am I going to pay the staff? The products, our business is just new. We're just starting. How are we going to pay the staff and all that? SkilledUp Life is there to support you, to help you, to actualize your dreams and your business. Thank you, Mr. Godson. Godson is there again. Like I said, founder and CEO of Excite Panacea. Godson, please, you have the floor. Can you introduce yourself and then tell us how you were able to overcome those little challenges that you faced as a tech startup? Okay, so maybe he's not able to talk at the moment. So we have...
sorry, I think Godson, you have to... All right, he's gone. Okay.
It's on, yes, it's on.
Yes.
So I'd like to invite our support team, Chidima Umba, our support head rather. Chidima Umba, could you raise your hand? Okay, Godson, could you please raise your hand again so I can let you in? Chidima, please raise your hand as well so I can let you in. So you could tell us, there might be some people here that want to leverage on this opportunity to upskill through SkilledUp Life, and they don't know how to go about this. So you're able to tell us what to do after Godson. So Godson, thank you. You have the floor now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for making the time to join this. It's holiday today in Nigeria, and that's probably why I was able to stumble on this. Abidemi, thank you very much. I appreciate what you're doing here. And Manoj, my Mancunian brother, it's good to meet you. I hope we probably will meet after this. To your question, Abidemi, I always like to take a local approach to this sort of conversations. So I would lay some things here which are basics. First is appreciate what you guys are doing at SkilledUp. There is really a shortfall of hands in this market. The country has been hit by heavy manpower exit. A lot of people have traveled and with no succession plan in place. So startups and businesses are struggling to fill up these gaps. And one of the ways of filling these big shoes is the sort of intervention coming from SkilledUp. But I also want to speak a little bit about the kind of intervention the market needs and the kind of people that we will be looking to absorb. First is I say to people who run incubation and programs like this is first to understand the culture, right? A lot of the tech ecosystem in most of the African market has been modeled around the Silicon Valley style of business, and that has a lot of times led to failure. By this I mean building products that are not tooled for the market for which you exist. So I say to it's been about 13 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 13 years. I have co-founded at least 9 startups, about 6 failures and 4 going concerns. So Abidemi, why you link me to Excite? I've got so many other faces that you don't know about. But that said, I believe there's a strong opportunity for incubating CEOs separately from incubating potential staffs. And this is something I've learned over the last 6 to 10 years. When we're incubating or we're raising people to become part of a team, we should have a different trajectory. Now, the general perception in Africa is one where when someone has a good idea or has a good product, he automatically becomes a CEO. Unknowing to most people, these are learned skills that people need to go through to increase their chances of success, especially for the specific terrains where you play. So it would be interesting to find out if there are any programs running on for raising the next generation CEO, because that's a completely different pathway. Now, with that said, the next thing I wanted to highlight is that there is a long distance between an idea and a product. And there is even a longer distance between a product and a business. Now, for you to go from an idea to a business requires that you pack a lot of punch in terms of experience. Now, a lot of these startups gas out in the way because 90% of the time they are built to raise capital and not to create capital. So these are important takeaway. There are today a lot of quote unquote products in the market which in reality are just features and not a product. So not every idea is good enough to be a product, and not every product is big enough to be a business. Right? So with that in mind, the assessment process, Benga earlier on was talking about the hackathon, how you get people together to do a hackathon and then you pick the best and you reward. So the question then becomes, what are we rewarding? in the system? What are you rewarding? Are you rewarding an idea? And how has that been tested and proven? So you find a lot of good ideas dying because it was built around the capital. And then finally, I want to talk about the role of culture in startups. I always say, it's not me really, there's a quote out there that says culture will eat strategy for breakfast. Right? So for startups, my general advice is try as much as possible to stay away from startups that drive culture change, because that's a very expensive venture. So most times, fantastic products die because they are trying to drive culture change and they do not pack enough muscle. They don't have enough capital to stay the time before they get to the tipping point. So as much as possible, stay away from those sort of capital, those sort of startups or investment, because you would ultimately gas out when you are driving a culture change. So one of the things that have worked for me, or what I have learned from my failures and successes, is knowing ab initio how to leverage experiences of myself and other people in the ecosystem. The idea of going out to hire is very pedestrian. Sometimes some pathway to getting the right staff is actually invest in development and creating an internship program or creating a pathway internally for people to rise through the ranks. Most times when startups go out and get the best hands, you just go through your capital in no time and then you go bust. So we invest a lot in people, where we take people right out of college and we put them through an experiential learning model, where in no time they begin to create value for the business. So, and that's where SkilledUp and what you do comes in very, very handy. These days, tech in itself is supposed to be an enabler and not a business. But most people come into tech as a business. So it is important that you properly dimension the opportunity and the problem you are solving, then now understand what role technology plays in that journey. What happens most of the time is people get tech and then try to shoehorn technology into a problem. So not every successful business should be... I've been in tech for the past 26 years, and I'm saying this to you, that not everything should be tech, right? Considering where the market we are in, it's simple. If no matter what tech I have today, if there is no power, I'm on ground zero. So there is no point in trying to solve Silicon Valley problems when we have existential problems that may not require as much tech and can also be very successful. So I wouldn't want to turn this into a lecture, but I believe I have dropped a few things that can help anybody transition an idea into a product and obviously a business. Thank you, Abidemi. I yield the floor.
Wow, yes, thank you, Godson. Thank you. I picked that you said there's a long road to a product and also a product business. And also you mentioned that not every idea is good enough to become a product, and not every product is good enough to become a business. I said many tech startups have faced attrition, high rates of attrition, because so many people are traveling out of the country. Yes, because of the current economic situation, a lot of individuals are leaving the country to, other countries, and no succession planning. So I wanted to say that thank God for platforms like SkilledUp Live, who help tech companies to build their team. And as they help the tech companies to build their team by connecting these young individuals who have gained skills, experiences and all. As they connect them with these tech companies, they are in turn helping them also to build succession. Because before a certain set of people are done with their volunteer time, because volunteer time is just 3 months, the tech companies are also leveraging the platform to bring up another team that would take over before the current team leaves. So they have to train them before the particular set is being phased out after their term. So I want to thank you so much, Godson, for this explicit insights that you've given us to building a product, building a business, and challenges. I was thrilled when you said you've had 4 exits. If I heard it right, 4 exits. I mean, it's not a child's play actually to start up a business and and not face challenges. And one of the things that my CEO Manoj would always mention also, he never stopped talking about the exit he has had. It's even on his profile. So I thank everyone for joining. Oluro Thomas, thank you for joining. Eniola, Adeline, Yeni, Gloria, Samuel, Awubakwe, Sasanda, Chidima, thank you for joining. Imbali Olusoya. So you could check out Godson's profile to connect with him. And also Godson, I'm sure I won't have to tell you're gonna connect with Manoj, yes. So I want to quickly, as we round up, Chidima, could you please run us through the process of joining SkilledUp Live and how tech companies too can also leverage the opportunities on SkilledUp Live?
Okay, thank you, Abudemi. I've been enjoying, listening to Mr. Godson and sorry, okay, the other guest left, forgotten his name. Let me do a quick introduction. Okay, so my name is Chidimamba. Currently the head of the support team, SkilledUp Live team. I'm a Nigerian and I joined SkilledUp Live as a volunteer in 2022. So today, I'm one of the employees of SkilledUp Live. So to join SkilledUp Live is quite easy. As a volunteer, you just need to create an account, register, set up your profile. And this profile is quite similar to what we have on LinkedIn. So because it's actually a talent platform. Sorry, it's just that it's not a paid opportunity. So when you create an account and you talk about the your values, why a company should let you into their team, and after setting up your profile, you go ahead to apply for the opportunity that aligns with your interest. For the company, you also need to sign up, create an account, create subscription, then you post your opportunities. Then we take it from there. So the support team is there to support anybody that visits the website or that uses the website. We help you to navigate the website and also help you to achieve your goal. As a volunteer, we help you to get ready and make you eligible for the available opportunities. So anytime you visit the website and you need assistance getting through any of the processes, feel free to click on the chat widget. The members of the support team will be there to provide you the needed assistance. So having a profile is important, is key to both companies and volunteers, because we need to know who you are, what you're doing, or what you can do. So having a good profile is important. As a company, to attract the caliber of talent you need to talk about your business, your mission, so that skilled talents, can have a reason to want to join your team. So the same thing applies to volunteers as well. Whether you have a little experience or you're highly experienced, you need to be able to talk about that on your profile so that people can know the value that you are bringing, to the team. So I don't know whether, or if you have any question, you can reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chidima. So as we bring this to a close, I just want to say a very big thank you to everyone who joined from the beginning and stayed with us all through. The network has been a real issue, but then we thank God we were able to overcome. Manoj, thank you so much for being here with us. Festus, thank you for being here with us as well. I would say a big thank you to Victor Benga Afolabi. He had another public speaking engagement today, but he still made it to this event today. Thank you, Godson, for being part of this event today. And then everyone in the audience, please, if you have questions that we might not be able to take right now, you could come to our DM, please, to ask the questions. We're ready, we're willing to answer your questions. And Godson, I will have the regional team lead for Nigeria, SkilledUp Live Nigeria. He's going to say hello to you in your DM in case you need we want to look at areas where we can partner together. I know you have physical office and then staff, but then what else can we do? What else can SkilledUp Live do for Excite Panacea? You might need some remote working staff, and then that you don't have to pay salaries to. So we'll get in touch with you. Thank you so much, Fanyi. Thank you, Umbali. Thank you, Gloria. Everyone, thank you so much. Pristine, aside you, thank you very much, Anthony. So I want to wish you all a wonderful day. And please remember to connect with each other. If you the people that are here, if you don't have connection with them, please send connection to Godson, send connection to Manoj, Emiola, everyone. I'll see you guys again. Take care of yourself and bye.